Hello everyone, myself Arnav. In the last video, we covered the customer relationship management solutions, namely marketing, sales, and support, and also the common solutions, business and catalog. In this video, we'll cover the supply chain management related modules or the solutions, and we'll do a walkthrough of a standard supply chain management process. So we'll go to the solution store, click on more button, click on import solution, click on import from store, and I already have the business catalog and the sales solution installed. In case if you do not have these solutions installed, you can install them prior to installing the other supply chain management solutions. You must note that business catalog and sales are the common modules between customer relationship management and supply chain management. So I already have those three installed. I also have marketing and support, but not relevant to supply chain. The thing that are relevant to supply chain. Also note that the purchase solution also has a dependency on business and catalog solution similar to the sales solution. So we'll click on import. Next we'll import the inventory solution, a critical piece of supply chain management. So we click import, and that's done. So we have imported the two solutions, purchase and inventory. Next, just the way we did it with the other solutions, the first thing is go to actions, get the actions related to the new solutions that we have just imported, the inventory solution actions, and we need to set the username and password for these actions. Again, you should set them to some other user account. I'll just use my own username and password for now. We've done that for inventory, and then we do it for purchase as well. So we have set the action credentials for the purchase and inventory actions. Next we go to the supply chain management site. So click on the gear icon on the top right corner, click on change site. Now you would have already seen the CRM site. That is where we did the marketing, sales, support solutions demonstration of those. Now we'll go to the supply chain management site. So we have the business solution, which is the common between supply chain and customer relationship, and the sales solution also there, again common between supply chain and customer relationship, and the catalog solution. We'll do a brief recap of the common solution as well, starting from the business solution. So accounts are the different businesses or companies that your business deals with. And we already have an account from the previous demo of sales automation as a part of customer relationship management. We'll reuse this account as our customer. We'll create another account, will be our supplier. So let's create a supplier account. We'll call him Liver and Sons. We'll leave the rest of the details for now. And under this account we can create contacts. Now we can also create contacts from the contacts menu. We'll just show the relationship here. Say Mr. John Lever, CEO of Lever and Sons. I'll give him a phone number. Now this email and phone number are not required field, but you won't be able to send him email or SMS as a part of activities in the absence of these details. So I'll just enter my details here. So I've created another contact. He is the contact person of our supplier company. Now you can see those contacts over here as well. Our earlier contact, Mr. John Doe, was our customer, and now we have Johnny Lever as our supplier. Next, coming to activities. Activities is where you track all the different interactions and the different tasks that you perform towards the customers, the accounts, contacts, or independent of them. So we can create activities that are independent of accounts and contacts, like plan the items to stock. And we can also create activities as a part of or related to the contact or account. So let's say we have to discuss the pricing, so I can create a phone call activity and mention the subject for that, discuss on pricing. I can also create emails and directly send out emails to the related contact. Note that you should set the email state to send once you have finalized the content of the email. That will notify the system to send out the email. Also check the from email address if you want to use the transactional or the promotional email address. And similarly, you can create a SMS activity and send out the SMS to the related contact. For now, we'll just create a simple phone call activity, and once we have had the call, we'll record the summary of the discussion, and we can mark the status of the activity as completed. And we can also see the activity as a part of activity history of the account. So we go to accounts, select our account, and from the property pane we can see account activities, and we can find the same activity over here as well. There is more to activities, like you can create recurring activities, and that as a part of our implementation, most of the activities are auto-generated by the system for different users depending on the specific business process. So that covers the overview of business solution. Next we'll go to the catalog solution. So catalog solution is where we track all our products and the different prices at which we sell our products. So we already have some products created from our earlier demo of sales automation. As a recap, we'll create a new product, and actually let's create a new unit for that product as well. So we'll go to unit. We had this unit created, numbers, you might call them pieces, or depending on your business, you might have kilograms, grams, or meters, etc., whatever makes sense for your business. So we'll create a new unit. There are certain items that we don't sell in single pieces, we sell them in boxes of 10 or boxes of 20. So we'll create a unit like box 20. Actually, we use a convention like x20 and give it a formal name like box of 20, and we'll make this unit as a compound unit. We'll select numbers as the base unit, and we'll set the conversion of 20. That means 20 numbers make up one box of 20. Similarly, if I'm retailing items in dozen, I might set up the conversion factor as 12 with numbers and set the symbol as dozen, but we'll do it as a box of 20 for now. So let's go to products now. Let's create a new product. Now there are IoT devices and sensors and actuators that we sell as in boxes of 20. The one that is popular is Enterox electronic shelf edge label. So the electronic shelf edge labels are electronic displays that are attached to shelves at retail store to display the price of items on the shelf. And the interesting fact is that the price displayed can actually be managed from Enterox Cloud platform itself. So let's set the unit for this product. We'll select the box of 20 x20, the unit that we created, and we'll create a new category for this product. So now we have three different products. There is the electronic shelf edge labels, e-cell tags, and then we have a server computer and we have desktop computer. Now let's set the price for the new product that we have added. So we go to price list. We have two different price lists. There is a standard price list, and we have set the prices for the desktop and server computers over here. We'll add our product to this price list. We'll select electronic shelf edge label as the product. It automatically picks up the default unit to be the x20 unit, and let's say we will set the price to be like $800 for a box of 20. And similarly, we can add the item to the bulk order price list as well. So we select our product under bulk order price list, and let's say we'll sell it at $700 when sold in bulk. So we have set the selling price of our new product in both the price lists. You can create more price lists. You can actually create a price list like cost price and keep track of the prices at which you buy the different items. but in our business the cost price changes with every order, so I wouldn't bother setting that up. Finally, you can review the different products at different prices in the price list. And with that, we have set up our catalog. Next, we'll move to inventory. We'll start with creating some warehouse. Warehouse is anywhere you might be storing your items or stocking your items. So we have some items at our showroom. We'll create a showroom as a warehouse. And then we also have some items, or actually the bulk of our items, at a godown. You can put the address, and by default the system picks up the current user as the warehouse manager. You can change it to be some other user. In this system, I'm the only user here. I'll leave it as is. We'll come back to the rest of the elements in inventory, but let's first start with procuring some items to be stocked in our warehouses. So we'll go to purchase process. Now, we had a rather elaborate implementation of the purchase process for a specific client of ours, where you start from a purchase request and then you receive quotations against those requests and select a specific quote, and based on the total amount of the order, there was a approval process to be followed before the order can be finally confirmed. But the purchase solution you get from the solution store, which is also the one that I use in my business, is a rather simplified form of the procurement process. Here we would directly start from orders, although we would keep the order in the draft stage until confirmed. So we'll create a purchase order. Let's give it a summary like purchase of servers, desktops and devices, and we'll select the supplier account that we created, Lever and Sons, the contact person Johnny Lever. We can specify a requested delivery date to be sometime in the future. We'll leave the stage as draft for now. Any other details that we want to fill in, the billing and shipping address, I'll leave the rest of the field as is for now. So we have created a purchase order, and then we might be receiving quotations corresponding to this order. We can attach those quotes as documents against this record. Actually, you can attach documents to any of the record in the Enterox system. Let's say we received some quotation and we have got the details of prices, and we can add product line items to our order now. So we'll select the product, which is server computers, and we'll buy the server computers at $2,000, and let's say we want 10 of those. And in case if we receive some discount, we can track those discounts as well. As we'll leave the rest of the field. We can add tax if there is a tax applicable, purchase tax, let's say VAT or inward VAT of 5.5%, something like that. It automatically calculates the tax amount and the total amount. We'll add some workstation computers to our order, and this one, let's say we are buying at say $400 and we are going to buy 50 of them. Again, no discount. We'll select the same purchase tax, and we'll add the devices. I will buy the eSIL tags as in boxes of 20, and let's say the box of 20 would cost us something like $500, and we are going to get like 10 boxes. Again, we'll select the tax code. You can have different tax codes for different product line items. So we have set up the different product line items and the prices at which we are buying the things, along with the quantity. And now if we refresh, we can see that the total amount is calculated and added to the order. And if we want to see more details about the amount, we can expand the amount details section, and we can see the total amount, the total base amount that came in case if there was a discount given, the total tax being paid, and hence the total cost. In case if there is a shipping charge being applied, we can add those details as well as freight charge, freight code and freight charge to the purchase order. And if there is a payment term corresponding to it, we can set those as well. Finally, we can move the order through different stages. We can directly mark it as confirmed, And let's say we received the items itself, so we'll mark it as received, and that will close the purchase order as well. So once we have received the purchase items, we can stock those items in our warehouses. And the way to do that is we go to transfer materials, we create a transfer, let's give it a name like narration, like items purchased, and we can actually keep the purchase order as a part of the narration, the order number, so we have created a transfer material record, and then we'll create items that are transferred within this transfer record. So we'll say we have received some items, we have received different items based on the purchase order. We can do a trick here. We'll go to the purchase order, we'll open the record of the product line item, we can copy the record and we can paste the values over here. You can see it automatically calculates the rate amount and the amount of the item total amount that's coming in. And if you want to group items through different grouping mechanisms, you can do that as well. You can create stock groups. We'll talk about it later. Let's just receive these items in our godown. So we have received the shelf edge label in our godown, and we'll create some more. We'll copy this. This is the server computer. We'll go back to our transfer material, and within the transfer items I'll just paste the value, and again we have received this item and we'll receive it in our godown. And in case if the final thing, the workstation computers, we'll copy that as well. Go back to our transfer materials, create a transfer item, paste the values, received the items, and we'll set the warehouse to be the godown. Now you can also automate this process, but in many cases, like it is important to review the items being received. In some cases there might be certain quantity missing or certain quantity less than the requested item, so it is important to review these details within the transfer items when receiving the items at a specific warehouse. In case if you are handling items that has expiry date, you can track those expiry dates as well. We do not have expiry date, so we'll ignore that field. And stock group is actually to group items in a custom way as well. Say we want to group items by manufacturers or based on batch numbers, you can do that. We'll leave that as well, leave that field as well for now. So we have created a transfer material and we have received the different items over here. And although we do not buy the workstation computers and server computers as is, we actually assemble them as a part of our production. You can use the transfer material process itself in order to keep track of the production. For example, you can create a transfer material record like daily production, and then you can add items to the transfer material, the daily production record as items issued. Those are the items that you consumed. Select the warehouse, the different items. I'll add items like the processors, motherboards, storage device, and RAM, etc. as issued items, and then we can add another transfer item record within the same transfer material and set it as received, and we can track the different items that we produce under that. But we'll skip that part for now. So we have received some items as a part of our purchase within our warehouse. And then if we want to see the current status of items at the warehouse, we can go to warehouse, select our warehouse, and from the property pane we can select warehouse items, and it'll give the snapshot view of the items there at the warehouse. So we have all the items at our godown and we do not have anything at the showroom. So we'll shift some items to the showroom. We'll go back to transfer materials. Now if we see, we purchased some desktop computers. So we purchased some desktop computers at a rate of 422 per unit and 50 of them. So we'll move some of them to the showroom. So we'll create another transfer material record. We'll call it as shifting computers to showroom, something like that. And then we'll add a transfer item. We'll set that we are issuing some items from the go down. We'll select the workstation computers and say if we are moving 5 of them and those were purchased at a rate of 422. Leave the rest of the field. And at the same time we can create another transfer item. We'll say we have received some items at the showroom, and we'll specify the product being our workstation computers, 5 of them, rate applied 422, and that's it. So now we have moved 5 of the workstation computers from the go down to the showroom. If we go back to warehouse, we can see that we have 45 workstation computers in our go down, and the price has adjusted automatically. Similarly, if we select the showroom record, we can see that there are 5 workstation computers at the showroom. And if you want to see the each transfer that has happened against the go down, we can select the warehouse transfer items, and we can see that the different items that were received at the go down and the different items issued from the go down all in one snapshot. And if you want to see the current snapshot view, we can go to warehouse items, and this is where you can see the real-time view of how many items are there at each of your showroom or warehouses. Next, let's do a sales as well. So we'll go to sales orders, and we can see that there is already an order that came in as a result of our sales automation demo of CRM. So there can be orders coming in from the CRM side, or we can create orders over here as well. So we'll create a sales order, say sales of items. In case if we have the quotation and opportunity details, those are from the CRM perspective. We'll skip those details. We'll directly add do and does as the account to, and the contact person who is purchasing, he's our customer. We can add any more details to it as we want, but for now we'll just leave it as is. We'll add the product line items to it. Let's say Mr. John wants to buy some server computers in numbers, we'll say, and we'll sell him at a standard price. Let's say 15 or 2 server computers, and we gave him a discount of like 5%. We can select the tax code. We can have as many tax code as we want. We'll create one as outward VAT. Let's say 11% or 11.5%, something like that. Select that tax code, and we have the total amount calculated. We'll add some workstation computers as well, again at the standard price. That's 15 workstation computers. Again, we'll give a discount of 5%. Select the same tax code, and similarly we can add some e-cell tags, electronic shelf edge label. Now we are selling it in boxes, and we'll select the price list item. We'll select the standard price for that. We'll sell 2 box. We'll give a discount of 5% over here as well. Select tax. So we have created a sales order, and say we want to fulfill this sales order, and again these orders can be coming in from the CRM as an end result of CRM as well. So we have some orders that came in. If we do a refresh, we can see the total amount of the order calculated and added to the sales order, and we want to process this sales order. So just the way we did with the purchase order, we'll go to transfer materials, create a transfer material record being items sold, and we can track the sales order number. something like that. And again, under this transfer material, we'll create transfer items. We'll add transfer items corresponding to the sales order. So we can use the same trick. We go to the sales order, select our sales order, and we can pick up each of the item within that sales order, the product line items. We can copy the values and paste it here. We'll say we are issuing the items now, and we'll be issuing the items from the go down. It has automatically done the rest of the calculation. Click Save and New. That was the electronic shelf edge label, and then we have the server computer. Paste, transfer type, again issued from the go down. Save and New, and finally the workstation computer. Copy, paste, again issued from the go down, and we have created the transfer items within that transfer material. So being items sold, we have the 3 items sold. We sold 2 boxes of the electronic shelf edge label, 2 server computers, and 15 desktop computers at different prices. And then now if we go to the warehouse items, we can see that it has the new values are now reflected there. We have the values being reduced based on the sales from the warehouse. Again, there are a lot more things that you can do with the settings or in the process of customization. Like we can set threshold for the minimum quantity for each of the warehouse and each of the product in the warehouse, and it can generate email notifications or SMS notification if it reaches the threshold and stuff like that. So that is how you process the sales order. The next step is, once we have processed the sales order, we can generate an invoice corresponding to the sales order. We can select the sales order, click on generate invoice. It's the same way in which we did it in the sales automation process. So we have created an invoice corresponding to the sales order. So we now have an invoice corresponding to the sales order, and say we want to email this invoice to the customer, we can do that as well. Select the invoice. You can see all the amount details are there. The product line items are automatically transferred from the order into the invoice, and then we can click on the print button. And when you click on the print button, you can see that the different items, the different the quantity, the amount, the rate at which the items were sold, the discount given if any, and the tax applied. Now we can print this document, or we can email this directly from the system. So we'll click on email. It will generate an email activity. Now we can directly send this email out, or we can assign a user to verify it before sending it out, and send an assign notification. Let's look at this activity from within the system itself. So if we go back to the activities section in the Enterox Cloud platform, we can see that there is an email activity corresponding to the sales invoice record that we have just generated. And we can see the details of the email that contains all the product and price details. You can also edit the content over here, and you can mark the email to be sent, and I'll assign it to myself. The system automatically formats the contents of the email so that it can be displayed in standard email clients. So we have sent out the email, and that's how you can process the sales orders. So we have covered the sales orders, the invoices, and then in case if there are some items that are returned, we can track those as return inwards, the items that were returned by our customers back to us. Similarly, we can have the purchase order, generate the invoice from the purchase order, or we can create invoice based on the invoice when we receive it from our vendor. Similarly, if we find some of the items are damaged, we can do a return outward and track those items in that return record. So that sums up the supply chain management process from the Enterox Cloud ERP system.